What's up? My name is John, and this is Cinema Saturday. Today, I have a review for Friendship. This movie follows an adult male who is navigating the friendship world because we all know as adults it's difficult to make friends. So we get to see his journey unfold, and of course, hijinks ensue. Now, this movie maybe was misadvertised, or maybe I just didn't get the gist of the advertisement. But I went in thinking that this movie was actually about making friends as an adult and how difficult that can be and challenging with everybody's schedule so different and all that jazz. But that's not really what happens in this movie. I think this movie is more so like Uncut Gems, but instead of gambling with money, we're gambling with relationships and the people in our lives. Because our main character just, at first you're very sympathetic. At least I was very sympathetic because, I'm a weird dude. I don't have a bunch of friends. So I know how hard it is to connect with people. So I was just like, oh man, you just kind of messed up this one time. Maybe they'll look past it, or oh man, you just gotta try and keep making friends, and eventually you'll make some. But no, that's not really what happens in this movie. No spoilers, but this movie is more so like, oh, this guy gets invited to go hang out. He goes to hang out, everything's okay, and then he says one bad thing, and then another thing, and then it just gets really awkward and uncomfortable, where people are like, I don't know if I want to hang out with this guy. And you're like, and at first I was like, oh, but then he just kind of kept making the same mistakes over and over again, not learning from them, and also not understanding maybe why people are turned off by his behavior. So it's so much like Uncut Gems, where Adam Sandler is just making mistake after mistake after mistake, and you're like, stop, dude, stop doing that. You gotta know what you're doing. Stop. And in this movie, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, dude, you can't talk to people that way. Dude, you can't act like this. Dude, come on. Maybe at first it was just, a little weird, but now it's like you're actively trying to be against people, and you're ruining relationships. Maybe not on purpose, but you're not taking other people's feelings and opinions into consideration when going about, dealing with these friendships. So at some points, it was tough to watch. I think this movie is advertised as being a comedy, maybe a comedy of errors, and there are some moments that are so crazy that they are a little bit funny, because you're like, dude, what are you doing? That's kind of funny, but in a real world situation, it's not funny. One example that's early on in the movie is that, they kind of hung out maybe once, twice before, and then he goes and shows up at his friend's job because he wanted to hang out with them or talk to him, or that because he thought their relationship was at a different level than what it actually is. And you're like, dude, you cannot, let me tell you, if you're not already considered my best friend, you cannot show up to my work and expect to talk to me like a normal person, right? I'm like, no, dude, I'm on the clock. I'm busy. I got stuff to do. We're not there yet for me to be like, oh, he can come chill here. He's cool. I was like, no, no, dude. So it was just a lot of things like that where this guy was just, maybe pushing too hard into the friendships. So sometimes it was funny. Sometimes it was more awkward. A lot of times it was cringy. This isn't a horrible movie, but this isn't also a movie I would say you have to go out and see. Maybe one day on streaming, this movie will be fun to watch. At home, maybe if you drink something or even smoke something or eat something, whatever you kids do, I think this movie will be funnier and more fun that way. But I was pretty much sober when I went in, and I was sitting there thinking, wow, This would be funny with 3 shots of vodka. You know, insert Jeremy Johns. Yeah, now it's a party. But yeah, it's just it's more of like an experience movie than like a movie to watch, and definitely not one to, if you watch it, it's just for the sake of watching it. It's something new. It's something different. It's fun. There are a couple messages to take away from it. Learn from this dude's mistakes when you're forming your friendships. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna give Friendship a good old 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's alright. Not something I would super recommend. It's not a horrible movie. It has a decent story. You just may get pretty frustrated with the main character. Alright, so that's all I have for Friendship. My name is John. Thank you for watching Cinema Saturday. And as always, have a good one.